It's time for Nug Life Radio, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community, featuring Medi Mike with the cannabis correspondent Benjie. Like us on Facebook.com/NugLifeRadioShow, Twitter @TheRealNugLife, and Instagram NugLifeRadio. I'm your announcer, Recreational Riley. Here's Medi Mike.
Drug-sniffing squirrels is the top story in the world. There are 6 squirrels in China that are out there finding your drugs. So if you're at Central Park, trust nobody, not even the squirrels. There's thousands of them. They outnumber us. This is the Nug Life Radio Show, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. I am your host, Medicinal Mike, cannabis comedian, event coordinator, and just great-looking guy. Of course, my partner in crime, Benjie Cooper from Nug News and CannaGeek.com with us. Benjie, how you doing this week? Yeah, all right. Oh, I didn't, what? I got his thing. He's good. Benjie, you hear me? All right. Well, he hears me. We have a great show for you today. We got later on coming up, we're going to have Uncle Stoner on. We're going to have Tommy the Low Trucero. He's also an awesome comedian. Don't forget, April 15th is a Kushstock event out there in Adelanto Stadium. Hands down, one of the greatest events in the world.
And it's actually .net. Someone got the .com before us.
There he goes. Look, it's a huge lag. Well, he hears me, but he's there. We'll figure that out on our time. So yes, and we are going to have on today one of the most influential people in the cannabis community, whether you're a fan of wrestling or just a fan of life. This gentleman has quickly become from what was a legacy for a generation into a current and present influencer, and showing that you can live a healthy life, have cannabis in your life, and just be an amazing success.
A little bit of a lag going on.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Just not live. Coming up on the show, if he hits that button. So it's great to have you on the show, man. I always get flustered. I've known you for years now, and anytime I see you, you're still always, I turn into like that little kid looking up, and it doesn't help that you're like 9 feet tall, so I feel like a little kid standing with you.
Well, first of all, Mike, thanks for having me on the show, man. But what a buildup. I don't know how I follow all that, but, I've been a true believer in cannabis for a long, long time. You know that. And, I'm a little older now, but at 27 years old, I tried my first joint, my hit of cannabis in my life. And at that point, man, I was taking drugs from A to Z and drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels a day, And at that point, when I tried cannabis, man, it opened up my eyes. And, will I have some shots of Jack? Oh, yeah, I'll still do that. But I've gotten off those pain pills and that other stuff. And, cannabis, for me, it saved my life. That and my wife. So I said 2 ladies that saved my life, my wife and cannabis.
Did you start cannabis before or after wrestling?
I was Papa Shango, and I was going through a divorce, and a good friend of mine named Fast Freddy, Big Worm, he's no longer with us, God rest his soul. But he got me to try some, man, and I took off from there. It just from the very first time I tried it, Mike, my knees felt better, my back felt better. I went to the gym, I got a really good workout, and then we went to like a McDonald's or something, and I swear to you, it was the best hamburger I ever had in my life, man.
And it can't hurt with the ladies.
Hey, well, that's a part of it.
Now, you're also one, I remember you telling us a story about you had the first cannabis caricature depiction on WWE clothing.
Not only the first, but the only. And if you guys go back and you'll say, well, this one had this one, and this RVD, who's a great friend of mine and yours, he had this and this one and that's this. But nobody actually had cannabis leaves, the flower itself, on a shirt. And I had 2 of them. And, can you imagine? And these are WWEE F at the time shirts, man. Can you imagine they were promoting that? Is that crazy?
How did you slip that by?
Well, I can't tell all my secrets, but I will say this. A lot of people in this world smoke and are appreciative to people that are out there telling people they smoke, and I'll let it go at that.
You used to
but I mean, it passed Vince, and I mean, it had to go through everybody, so it made it through all the channels it passed. So it's not like they didn't know about it. They were back then. You know, you could promote that. I mean, look what I was doing. They were promoting pimping and smoking weed.
Oh yeah. My grandmother did not want me watching the Ho Train that we were so actively. That's, I think, how puberty started for me.
You have no idea how many people too that tell me I scared the shit out of them when I was Papa Shango, and guys that are going through puberty, you know, and the Godfather didn't even know what a hoe was and stuff, you know.
And a lot of people didn't realize that you were Papa Shango and the Godfather. Like, it took me years and years and years to even figure that out.
Hey, people don't know that I was Kama Mustafa in the Nation, Kama Good, you know, most of them, yeah, you're surprised how many people don't know that Papa Shango and the Godfather were the same person.
Yeah, the Kama had one heck of a haircut. Yeah, that kid and play thing going on.
Man, I had it going on. Can you imagine keeping that together? And I would pick my wife up one time. I had a 73 Cadillac Eldorado convertible with white interior. I think it had white interior, red outside with white walls. And I went to pick her up one time in it with that haircut, and she wouldn't even get in the car with me.
Did you ever get in trouble for smoking cannabis with the wrestling, or you guys ever almost get caught?
Never.
Who was your smoking partner? Nobody smokes alone.
You know, back then there wasn't a lot of smokers. A lot of the the wrestlers I smoked with was you know, like Teddy Long and Viscera, Road Dogg back then, X-Pac, you know. There wasn't a lot of smokers back then. Everybody else was into other shit, but a lot of the wrestlers weren't big smokers. It was guys in the office and guys in the TV booth and those type of guys.
Did you ever get any like concussions or anything from the long term, or any permanent damage that you're still having to deal with today?
I was on something with Sabu and RVD one time, and they were talking about all the concussions they had, and I'm like, man, I've never had a concussion in my life, you know. And all of a sudden, my wife's like, well, you remember that time? And I'm like, oh, yeah. She's like, you remember that time? And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so I'm like, wow, I guess I have. So
that's the side effect of the concussion. They might have had 14 of them.
Right. So, yeah, there you go.
What's your wildest weed story with the WWE?
My wildest what?
Cannabis story.
I have somebody trying to beep in that just won't let it go.
Yeah, it's probably Rob Van.
And I don't want to hit the wrong button and lose you, so hopefully they go away.
Yeah. Well, you're coming in crystal clear. What's the most fun weed story you have like for the WWE? Like, is there any shockers or?
Well, I don't want to get myself in too much trouble. I just signed a new contract with them, but one time, and I'm not going to mention all the names, but they had Snoop Dogg there one time in Chicago, right? And so that's the first time I met Snoop Dogg. And so they came to me, and I don't even think he was there to do anything with me, but Michael Cole came to me, and he's like, hey, man, Snoop's in a really bad mood. He doesn't feel good. He doesn't have any weed. He's like, man, you got any weed? I'm like, of course I got some weed, right? So we roll up some blunts. We go in there. We meet Snoop. And me and like 2, 3, 4 other guys go in there. Now, mind you, you're at the old Horizon, man, and everything. There's Vince's office, Shane, Stephanie, Jesse the Body Ventura was there. You got everybody with their own little offices in a small area. So we're in there just blazing, man, blazing. Now all of a sudden it comes to everybody's, attention, like, oh, shit. We got to go out there now, man. We've been blazing in this room, right? So everybody's, because they're afraid to run into anybody. Vince, Linda, Shane, they're afraid, right? So I'm like, man, I don't give a shit. I'll go out there, right? So I just go busted out the door. There's Vince, Stephanie, Shane, Bruce Pritchard, Jerry Briscoe, and Jesse the Body Ventura, and they're all looking at me, and it's like a Cheech and Chong movie, man, like smoke's literally coming out of this room, and they all look at me, and I say, hey, don't look at me. You guys are the ones that invited Snoop Dogg.
What did they think was going to happen, right?
Yeah. And so the funny thing is, bro, I will be honest, I never, ever heard one thing from them about it. So later on, I talked to Bruce Pritchard about it, and he said it was like a funny story that was told in the office. So thank God they put up with me like that.
If you could have changed it all, and had like, here's $1 bazillion, or whatever you wanted to be, or become a wrestler, would you choose the wrestling path again?
Or what, the money?
Or let's say you had the same amount of money doing anything else, like if it wasn't.
Well, it depends. Like if I was doing porno and I had the same amount of money, I don't know. I might go that route.
So, are you going to say
no,
you've never
man,
done a porn?
I wouldn't change anything. I had a good time, enjoyed it, man. It's the gift that's still giving. I'm still doing appearances as Godfather, and just re-signed a new contract with them. It's called a Legends contract. So I'm happy with where I'm at and with the company and what they've done and what I've done. So it's all good in the hood, man.
So how much Googling would it take us to find your porno?
Oh, I didn't do it, man. I was like saying, if I could have did it, I would have took the money in porno.
You still look great. I feel like you still have a carear opportunity in that field if you ever decided. Oh, yeah. You're bigger and healthier.
My wife's over there going, no, he doesn't.
Well,
and you know my wife, so you better be careful. You got to come to my house again sometime.
Just making jokes.
You know,
I know to bring
so
flowers.
be careful.
I'm bringing flowers next time I come over.
Everybody thinks I'm the pimp. You know who's the pimp in the house.
I do know who's running that house over there, and she's doing an amazing job. You got to see too, inside info. But Bear's Godfather's son how tall is he now?
I think Ty's every bit of 6'6", if not pushing 6'7".
He is and it's such a young age. I mean, he's a little older now, but man, when I first met him, he was like 16 years old and just towering.
He's at home for a while right now, and so we were both barefooting. We were both barefoot, and we walked in the laundry room. Nobody had tennis shoes on or lifts or anything, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how tall are you? He had me by at least. I'm like legitimately 6'4", maybe a little taller, maybe not, but he's got me by at least 3-4 inches, bro. So he's got to be 6'7".
And he's still growing. You grow till you're 25.
Yeah, he's just starting to grow a little mustache, so he's still got a little growing to do.
At what age do you think before he can take you? I don't feel like that age exists.
He thinks he can take me now. But he can't.
Sounds like we got another pay-per-view coming up.
I don't think none of them can take me. Corey might have a little bit of a chance. They all take me in a race, yeah. But if I get my hands on them, they're gonna I still got a little bear strength in me. Not much, but a little.
Saving one. I played him in the WWE game at your home on the PlayStation or whatnot, and I played as the Godfather, of course, and he played as whatever character, and he beat the pink off me. Like, I mean, he was like, it was some repression. I was like,
he's what is he now? 20 years old. He's turning 20 this year.
Yeah, he's a big boy. That's a big boy right there. Same age as my son. I should take my son to your son and just have your son whoop his ass. My kid needs a good ass whooping.
I think he thinks he said stupid things to me so far because I've got a heavy bag and a speed bag outside. Today I just started hitting it again. He told me before that he thinks if we put gloves on, he could take me.
And then did he watch you hit the bag?
Oh, I haven't hit it hard yet. I've only been tapping it because today was the first day. I'm learning as I'm getting older. Don't do it all in one day. Slowly come back before you hurt yourself. So I'm doing it that way today.
Does he appreciate who you are in the world? Not to ego bump or anything, but does he appreciate the awesomeness of the Godfather and what he did, before the internet and everything, when the whole world was watching? Or are you just dad and?
I'm just stoner dad. What am I, mommy? What am I? I'm just dad. I'm just stoner dad. Stoner dad that you're probably better off talking to him when he's high than when he's not.
Is he going to go into wrestling at all? Any idea? I mean, he's built for
none of my kids have no desire, man. They're all one's a plumber, one works for the what's where the Lakers play. What's the name of that arena?
Staples.
It's not Staples, but whatever the arena is, he did work for the Dolphins. Now he works for that arena.
Crypto.com.
Ty's here. I have a daughter that's works. Where does she work? Listen, my house. At Four Seasons now, where she does all the conventions, in charge of it. So they're all doing good, but not one of them ever wanted to become wrestlers. Isn't that weird?
God damn.
I was trying to get Ty to become a wrestler because, I mean, look at the Usos. Rikishi's so busy these days, it's not funny because of his sons. I'm like, I got a son. It ain't too late.
Yeah, you get all the kids together. You have the new nation of domination.
Man, I'm telling you. We got some stuff coming up soon, don't we?
Yes. So you can see The Godfather. You're going to live commentate with me at Wrestle Sesh, the only cannabis-themed wrestling show out there in beautiful Los Angeles in Van Nuys. And I'm so stoked to do this with you. This is like my childhood dream. Like,
oh my God, am I allowed to bring any hose?
Yeah, you can bring all your hose.
Would you rather me bring hose or smoke?
Or both? Wait, what are my chances with the hose? Because I know I'm going to get some of your smoke.
We're going to have to talk offline. We're going to have to talk about it.
Godfather, we thank you so much. Is there anywhere people can reach out to you? Do you still like get fan letters that they can send? Or
well, you know, the best thing is to keep contact with me on Instagram. I am The Godfather with the little blue check mark. On Facebook, I'm not as active, but I'm the WWE Godfather on that. And I do have a YouTube channel, is The Godfather, but I'm not really active on that. I need to get my ass together on that. But Instagram is the best way to get a hold of me. Plus, if you're in California, man, you got to pick up some of that insane Godfather and all the Dr. Green Thumb dispensaries, man.
Godfather
it
OG.
is the fire, and you can't miss it. If nothing else, it's a cool bag picture with me on it.
Yeah, I tried it too. I'm trying not to curse.
Man, it's good.
It's fire. Yeah, that's like.
Didn't me and you have a little smoke out last time we were at B Real Studio?
Yeah, and that was fire, like fire.
And that was it too. Wasn't that good?
Yeah.
Well, man, pleasure being on here. I can't wait for what's the date? 4/22.
It's going to be on 4/22, April 22nd out there.
Man, that's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun that day.
And I'll post links for everybody so you can get your butts down there and know that Godfather wears a size indica.
Cool, man, and everybody stay on that smoke trace.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And you have a great day, man.
Peace.
That was WWE Hall of Famer, The Godfather, live on Nug Life Radio, a higher level of education for the cannabis counterculture community. And man, he is just a legend. His Godfather OG is fantastic. Coop, you sound like you're coming in nice and clear now because your face and your sound matched.
We can only hope it.
We can only hope. He'll answer me in like 15 minutes. Yeah, I'm coming in crystal clear. I hear you. Like a light bulb. That was The Godfather. You can follow him at The Godfather on Instagram. And he's actually out there and he talks to his fans and his people. And he's out there. He loves to smoke. So, allegedly loves to smoke.
Am I?
There he is.
Okay.
That's him answering the crystal clear from earlier. Wait, lift your hand up. Let me see what
Am
the
I still
time
lagging?
is. I don't know. Lift your hand. When you see me lift my hand, lift your hand. 2, 3, 4. That's a whole lot.
A long time. Yes.
So you'll catch up, Coop, or what I'll do is know at 4:45 we'll start the news. So if you start talking now, it'll probably catch up to you. Up there, lift his hand up.
27.
Yeah, that's horrible, man. All right, well, you just watch and enjoy.
Sit, Tommy.
Yeah. You're super lagged.
That is.
No, Uncle Stoner. We still have a great show. You let me know when you're in by telling me what time it is, because I'm saying this at 4:20. So then you can see how much lag you have, and then we'll figure out if that's a fixable error. Are you wowing my wow now or my wow? It's like talking to the past. I'm talking to the past. Hey, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl, so go place a bet now. And I think we're going to make a lot of money on this.
It's 4:20 now, as you're saying that.
No, it's 4:21. You're a whole minute.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a whole minute behind.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll figure it out. Nug Life Radio, a working show in progress here at the beautiful.
You get that from a sports almanac?
San Francisco. Benjie, I'm going to mute you until you catch up because it's just doing weird 1 minute later interruptions, which are fun too, but not on today. Next up on the show, we have another living legend. I'm having a show of living legends here at the Nug Life studio. One of my great friends, and I've been to, every time I go to a country, let me tell you a little backup story. Every time I go to a freaking country, no matter where it is, and I've been to about 9 of them if you count Alaska and Puerto Rico as a country, this gentleman pops up out of nowhere. I want to welcome to the Nug Life Radio Show. Definitely not his first time on. Definitely not his last. One of the greatest people you can know, and the spirit of cannabis himself. Welcome, Uncle Stoner. Uncle Stoner, you out there, brother?
Hey, yeah. Can you hear me? Okay, because you're breaking up a little bit. You know, I don't know if it's because I'm really high or if we're having a little bad connection, but every other word I'm hearing from you. But hopefully you can hear what I'm saying.
You sound crystal clear, brother. And you're calling us from you're in Jamaica, right?
No. Actually, we're back from Jamaica now because, we went ahead and got a glorified storage unit, I would say, because I bought a house. So it's basically a glorified storage unit.
Congratulations.
And we adopted a dog. So I only went to Jamaica for 10 days. Plus, we were also planning. We're doing our squash off in Spain during Spanibus next month. So we're flying out to Spain. Been working on that. Plus, this year has just been really busy with organizing various squash offs through different states and whatnot.
Now, if people don't know, let me fill them in on what is Mr. Uncle Stoner, Bobby West. Uncle Stoner, everybody's uncle. You have been in the cannabis industry as an activist, as a personality.
Hang on a sec. I'm having a little time hearing you.
Just pretend you hear me,
Okay.
because you're coming through crystal clear. But I'm giving your intro right now, and that's it. You've been an activist and a personality and just a voice of cannabis almost since the beginning, not 1936, the beginning of Prohibition, but like since current day Prohibition. You've been out there and you travel the world spreading the good word of cannabis, and you are loved in this industry, man. What keeps you going?
You just said it. That last word you just said. The last 2 words. You are loved. 3 words. You are loved. Wait. You are loved in this industry. 4 words. The last 4 words you said. I am loved in this industry. I mean, that's what keeps me going. Because in this industry, unfortunately, even before it got legal, there was the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's all the good people that kept me going out there. Some of these old school legends like Eddie Left is no longer with us. Bog Seeds, Jim, he's no longer with us. A lot of old school legends that took me on the ring, treated me with love, like Ben Dronker from Cincy Seeds, always showed me love and kindness, that company. And it's just the people and the energy it's kept me going and everything. The love and the
How many countries have you been to now? You are truly world traveled.
How many countries? Oh my God! All right, at least over. I mean, with just cannabis alone, because remember I was also in the military. With just cannabis alone, at least maybe 10 different countries or so, just for cannabis reasons. I think at least 10 or so, but maybe more. And then, of course, my whole life I've probably been to 30 different countries and stuff, and then all the different states here that have cannabis that's legal.
You're a regular. You're the only person that. Like I was trying to tell him earlier, I was sitting in Amsterdam and I'm at a stranger's house, somewhere down the street from Anne Frank. And, I have a joint and they're like, hey, do you need a light? And then it's like, I was like, huh? And they go, I said, do you need a light? And then all of a sudden, Uncle Stoner comes piling out of the closet or somewhere,
the back room,
the basement.
the back room.
Probably the Frank basement system. And like you are just everywhere I go, you're already there. I'm not sure if there's more than one of you or you're the actual spirit of cannabis.
Clones of me, yes.
Does
yes,
everybody else hear and see you, or is it just me? You know, like you're my conscience.
Yeah, your little conscience that follows you around. I mean, I'm one of them guys on the show. I'm the one that tells you to go ahead and do it. Not the one that's telling you, no, don't be safe. I'm like, go do it.
I have two Uncle Stoner. Let me tell you my favorite Uncle Stoner story. I took mushroom tea. We all took it. There must have been 15 of us in Las Vegas downtown.
Oh, God, yeah.
Uncle Stoner has no fear when it comes to law enforcement or any. I mean, no, not even the common sense fear. You know, we're on acid, and we are made it through
mushrooms,
the downtown.
acid,
Mushrooms,
all that shit.
yeah, it was all kinds of stuff.
Oh, it was a whole bunch of fun psychedelics that night, I think.
There are police, right? There's a bunch of cop cars or whatnot, and Uncle Stoner, who is always, action, he's always filming, and he cracks open the brightest eye of God flash on this light and just jams the phone in the cop's face, and he's like, the police here, and I'm just like, Stoner, come on, please, I'm already bad freaking, I'm losing my mind.
I remember that.
Losing my mind. Then we went to there's an adult playground out there.
Yes.
What's it called?
Gold Spike, I think it is,
the
or
Gold
something like
Spike,
that.
yeah, at the Gold Spike, and they have.
Yeah.
We went the night before, and it was awesome. It was giant hopscotch and Jenga, and we played pool with soccer balls. Well, the night that we went on mushrooms and LSDs, it was roller derby night. So,
oh God, yes.
In the back, these people are flying around. Everybody's got like bloody noses, and there's just blood spraying in the circle. Pre-COVID, so it was safe blood. And it was a nightmare. And after just the cops and everything, I had to leave, and I was like, I need to get out now. And then I'm trying to crawl home through downtown. There's a midget wearing a bikini, or I'm not sure how that was going. But it was like, I know that's not a politically word. It was a little person, man, dressed like a woman in a bikini. I don't know what the proper pronoun for all that is. They, because there was a lot of things included. And then the dude with the G-string that kept bending over, picking up the dollar in front of me. Like, it was a whole mission. And then we get to the hotel. Remember the crappy photographer complaining about his headache, wouldn't let anybody in the room. So we're tripping balls in the hallway. God, remember? And
we had to go down and make them get us a new key or something like that. I had to go down and get the key or something like that. I'm tripping balls, and it was weird, that fucked up carpet, because it wasn't at the Oscars or the one with the right there in the center. Wasn't
some weed thing or Oscars, Grammys.
Something like the one that had the big swimming pool, but now is a restaurant. I think.
Yeah, I think it was
but
the
carpet was fucking. Yeah, it was like a Fear and Loathing. Oh, it was like a Fear and Loathing. I remember that. Oh yeah. A Fear and Loathing night, definitely.
Then I'm like, play soft. We had Marilyn was there, and I'm like, play soft music for me. I'm losing my mind, and she puts on like bam, 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 club music, and I'm like, are you trying to kill me? And I'm like, change it to Happy Birthday. I want to hear Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah, something soft and
something
sweet,
safe. And then I remember we went to was it Jamaica for High Times?
Oh yes,
greatest thing. Now I'm new again. Uncle Stoner world traveled, just totally used to going everywhere and being everywhere. I've never left the country at this point, and we're there. And I have Benjie Reyes, who is wound up to ×9, and we're all at this event. And somehow,
and remember Charlotte Green,
yes,
Green that was on the Miss Queen of the Queen.
Yeah, the Alaska.
She was on that kind of
lady.
Yeah.
She's walking on rose petals.
Yep.
And somehow everybody got twisted. We all went back to the place, but Benjie never showed back up with anybody. So he's just lost in Jamaica. God, what a place, man. I got on the back of a stranger's moped and rode into the jungle to pick up some weed, let's say.
And you got a big bag full, right? A big bag.
Oh, yeah.
Garbage bag. Here you go. $20. There's a garbage bag.
When I went to the ATM, the dude followed me into the little booth, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna die. Until he saw my bank account.
He was about to get raped or mugged.
He saw my balance, and he was like, we're gonna let the little ones go, and then when they come back when they're bigger, you catch the fish. I was a bait fish. I'm like, if you're robbing me, it's for practice. You ain't getting shit. What's your most favorite thing that you've ever gotten to do in the cannabis industry?
Oh God. Oh, there's so many of them.
And don't forget the squash off. We got to talk about.
Definitely have to talk about squash.
Uncle.
Yeah,
please
go
go.
ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm all excited.
I know, there's so many cool things. I mean, it's like trying to think of just one. Like, I mean, being on stage with Billy Idol, and having during Moni, looking for a cigarette, because back then I smoked, having Steve Stevens, a world-class guitarist. As I'm looking for a cigarette, he comes up, pulls one out of his pocket, puts it in my mouth. As he's playing a solo, starts walking away, and he looks and he sees I'm looking for a lighter, comes back and lights it for me as he plays his fucking solo, That was pretty, that was a fun time. System of Down. I'm sitting in front of Greenhouse. Shivo comes, Uncle Stoner, how the fuck are you? He puts his arms around me. His goatee starts hitting me in the face. I'm like, who the fuck are you? He goes, it's me, Shivo from System of Down. You're going to my show? And I'm like, I don't know. And of course, he's all standing up, so I stood up, and he starts waving at these bodyguards, and they start sprinting. Me being ex-military, I could tell the look in their eye was, oh, this guy's bothering him. We need to take this guy out. Because, I had long dreadlocks. I was hippified. Shivo's all excited because he's seeing me again from and he's waving at these bodyguards, and they start sprinting at me. He jumps in front of me like, no. I kind of throw him.
It was a good arm wave.
He threw him in front of me. I'm like, He's like, no, backstage, green area. Make sure he gets back there. There's so many different fun times and everything that I've been able to experience in this industry,
Now, the squash off, and let me tell everybody, I don't like saying when I'm wrong. Like, I have a tendency to like to be right. But when Uncle Stoner came to me, and at this time we were doing events once a week, 50 a year, we're bing-bonging everywhere, and he goes, I want to create an event inside an event. He's like, all these competitions that are doing for cannabis, they're not friendly to what it should be, I'll just say. And I was like, you're out of your mind. I'm like, ain't nobody going to let you throw an event in their event. And now it's like 10 years later. It's one of the number one events. The squash off. It goes all over the world. Every celebrity has been a part of it. And it is insane. You sit there and he's taking and pressing cannabis. If you don't know out there and you're first time cannabis user or whatever, I don't know how the hell you found us, but you can squeeze the weed hydraulically and it will press all the oil and crystals and the gooey stuff out. And Uncle Stoner will collect, let's say 20, 30 samples of each thing for each contestant. It's always a VIP, so you're getting to sit next to, Wu-Tang Clan or somebody cool. And then you go through systematically, and he makes you go through each and every strain. Right. Okay, we're all doing number one now, and then like by 16, half the people are dead. 2 are still missing.
That's why we have the waiver. I don't know. Remember we always have you sign the back?
That's when you know it's weird. When you're like, I gotta smoke a joint. I gotta sign a contract.
I had to kind of fucking release your waiver. What the fuck? I'm signing a release waiver.
Right.
Why am I signing that?
If the paperwork came out now, there was a reason for it. Somebody screwed up before that. Now we got to have paperwork now.
Yeah.
Uncle Stoner getting him too high. You're getting him too high.
Yeah. No, I had God rest his soul Frenchie at one time. I got him on. He got it. And you know how much he
That's
could
not
smoke.
how he passed. He did not pass from Uncle Stoner, just for the record.
No, yeah, it worked for me. No, I love that guy. I got him saying, this is the most fucked up I've ever been, And
I got to
that's
smoke
why
with
I've
Frenchie.
changed.
Yeah, you're at the squash off.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a great guy. But no, I created this competition because, I got tired of all these bigger competitions and stuff. And it seemed a lot of times that the premier sponsors of people that put in the most money of the event were the ones winning the most. And
that too,
that didn't seem fair. And also, even the people that entered, when they entered, even if they took, they took first, second, and third, they didn't really know anything about why they did it or what they did good. And if they lost, they definitely didn't know why they lost. With our competition, you get to hear and listen. The judges, the entry people, we allow them to know their number so they can sit back and listen to the judges as they critique their entry. And we do it just like a high-end wine sommelier kind of competition. That's what my judges are. They're all high-end, they're all either heavy smokers or they know growers, extractors. They've been in this industry for a long time. I mean, we get legends on our panel and stuff, and celebrities. And it's like
Boston George, who was you guys were like Batman and Robin.
For a while, yes, we were, man. He was a great guy. Talk about story. Oh my God, amazing stories.
Uncle Stoner took Boston George. Is Boston George from the movie Blow? He's the real life Boston George. He did like 23 years and was released into Uncle Stoner's lap.
basically, yeah. Basically, it released into my lap. It's kind of how it was.
This isn't going to go good at all for anybody.
We had a good run, though, but there was a few times.
It was a run. Uncle Stoner smuggled him into Mexico. It was like, 2 weeks after he got out of prison? We're at the weed event. I'm not sure if he was supposed to even be there.
One time it's kind of like Get Him to the Greek. If you ever watched that movie, we had an episode of that. Oh, it was like, I think that was the San Diego trip.
Shaggy Carpets.
Yeah, it was crazy times. But he was a great guy. You talk about amazing story and knowing a lot of people, meeting a lot of people, and I mean that guy.
Were you at San Francisco when we gave one of the Marleys the belt, and it was Granddaddy Mike was receiving the belt, and he was a good friend of Boston George, and he gives Boston George the microphone to say a few words, and Georgie was drunk, right? And he's got the mic, and he's just yammering on about, if I was 20 years younger, I'd be banging all your wives. And they're like, can somebody get the microphone back from this guy? And somebody put their hand on him, and you watched his whole face change, and he goes, "You don't fucking touch me, I'm Georgie." And I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, no, he had that. He had that. Yeah, once he lost his temper, he was a good, lovable guy. But once he went to that serious state, that loving a friend of mine, he had that. That's
that real power.
You fuck me, you like motherfucker. Me and Escobar, and we stared each other.
He's got a couple phone numbers. Scare me. Yeah. He's got some phone numbers left over in that phone. If he wanted to, he could have just called in an old favor. Remember when I fronted you those 400 kilos of cocaine?
Oh, the people that showed up for when they did his birthday party at the Man's Chinese Theater and did a little preview of the docuseries plus Store Blow. Some of the people that showed up from New York and stuff. Oh, forget about it. Oh my, yeah. I mean, seriously, it was like. Oh, you knew. And
his daughter in real life was absolutely stunning. Like, I mean, this.
Yeah, very attractive.
She looked just like the actor that played her too. Who was it that played her in the movie? I don't know.
Well, like, she looked like she looked like the one that played George's wife. She looked a little bit like Penelope Cruz.
Yes, yeah. Can you imagine dating her and then your dad gets out of jail and I'm like, oh, who's your dad? I've never met him. Let's sit down for movie time.
Yeah, if you want to see that, Sam.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm out. Is she married?
I don't think so. I know so. Yeah. No. Yeah. I bet you're asking me that now.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. Yeah.
Yeah, she was hot. Uncle Stoner, how can people find you? How can they be part of everything? What do you have coming up next? I seen you.
Next is our Barcelona, Spain. We're going there. We're going to be doing a squash off on March 9th, the day before Spanibus starts. We're doing it at Wizards Club, so we're doing the very first Barcelona, Spain squash off. We've done them in Amsterdam, Holland, and all that, and Mexico internationally. So this is the first one doing it in Barcelona, Spain. So we're real excited about doing that. And then, of course, we got a bunch more coming up this year from Missouri, which actually the Godfather, he'll be one of my celebrity judges in Missouri. Let's see if I can get him pinned down on the mat. After I dab him out with 20 injuries, I'll challenge him to a wrestling match.
He's a monster.
I hope he's not, dude. He'd still kick my ass.
Yeah, he's in the best.
He's a great guy. I think I've met him before with you at that mansion party, maybe in Vegas.
Way back in the day for I think it was the Buzz magazine.
Yeah. Back there,
You should see him now, like his arm. Like I'm like, dude, you're bigger. You're bigger than then. Like insanely bigger too. It's like noticeable.
Yeah, some of these guys, especially during COVID time, they just worked out.
Well, when are you going to be in California again, sir?
California, honey. When are we going to be in California again? My wife keeps my schedule because it gets so busy. I'm not exactly 100% sure. But hopefully this year we'll be there because, with the laws now and the processing laws, although it's just heat and pressure with our competition, there's no chemicals involved or anything. You still have to have an M1 processing license, and with that license, it's not mobile. I mean, and they make it very difficult for our competition to be able to do it there. nowadays.
Well, you got to do it like old school. Bring your weed, and we'll meet at Uncle Stoner's.
Hang on a sec.
room.
Let me cancel. Marlon Asher's manager's calling me. I'm not bragging. I'm just stating facts. So hang on a
Yes,
sec.
that's J. What's his name? Starts with a J.
Judah. Great guy, Judah. And because Marlon Asher's going to be one of my judges over in Spain, actually.
The ganja.
So hang on. Let me cancel this.
Well,
real quick.
yeah. You can go. I want to just tell people how they can find you.
I'll call him back.
Well,
it's Tommy John calling now. I'll call him back.
No, I understand. Uncle Stoner, how can people find you out there in the media world?
YouTube. I got the Uncle Stoner channel there on YouTube. On Instagram, Uncle Stoner Bobby West is my main page. I have a backup page, which is the unclestoner.tm, because they took my main page down for a little bit. Anyway, Facebook, Uncle Stoner on Facebook as well. USA Squash Off on Facebook, USA Squash Off on Instagram. It's the best way to find me, or just come to some kind of cannabis event. And most likely, I'm going to be there.
Just go anywhere out in the world and say,
you say my name 3 times and I appear. You say my name 3 times and I appear.
I can't get this joint lit.
Yeah, Uncle Stoner. There I am, and I light it for you.
Hey, thank you for joining us, man. Here, we appreciate you every time you make time for us. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you soon. And let's get on the phone this week and find out when you're going to be.
Thanks, brother. I enjoy you. I always love things that you do and your energy and God, how many years. It's crazy how the years have gone by. We still look so great. Don't we still look great? I think we've gotten younger.
Sexy.
Yeah, it's a good cannabis. But thank you for having me on the show. Long time listener, first time caller. So hey, I'm real happy.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you. Have a great day, everybody. That was Uncle Stoner, one of the coolest cannabis people. There's a lot of people that are not just influencers on the Instagram, but get out there in real life, and these are the legacy people that helped you have the laws the way you like them today. I wonder what the chance is that we have Benjie Cooper on any kind of real time. Benjie, raise your arm.
Jeez.
Not looking good for us today.
He was looking really good, too.
Look, let's see. He looks like he's tracking us. What is I hate that I have to keep sidetracking to this. But yeah, he's not going to do it. That was Uncle Stoner. Make sure you follow him, Uncle Stoner. And I keep waiting for him to, because I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's a full minute. He's like a full minute behind, so that's just going to make this impossible.
I'm going to try something else. Go ahead.
So what we are going to do, though, so that we're not lagging at all, is go ahead and hit that next number on there.
Yes, I will.
We have had a great show so far today. We appreciate that you guys join us every single week here. You know that we do this out of labor of love. It's not something we get paid for. It's something we do it because everybody else out there sucks. And we got tired of hearing that.
See if you have real time, by the way.
You have real time, Coop?
Are we live?
Get out!
It was Discord.
Look, yeah, that crappy Discord, man. We're not using that no more.
It was one side of Discord.
Welcome, Benjie Cooper. We were doing, it was like taking a full minute, and then I'd like say, hey, raise your hand, and then we'd have to wait, and then you'd be like, that's weird, but then I was talking to the past you as if it was current, and because you were still answering from this side. You were still answering the questions in the right amount of time. It was just cool. It was a weird thing. Let's do some news. We got a bumper for that.
Yes, we do.
Nug Life Radio.
Hold on.
Here's your education from Paul Brumbaugh.
Yes, I will.
You can hire him to do this to your show.
Yes, we are. Look at that.
Yeah, Edge Studios online, folks.
Now, from around the world, around the country, around the corner. It's Yo with Benjie.
All right. Well, I think that most of us at one time or another have had some experience with crappy weed, but probably nothing like this. Earlier this month, a 2-year-old border terrier named Moose was out for his daily walk with his owner around Strumblehead in Pembrokeshire, Wales. But during their excursion, Moose stopped to sniff at and nibble on something that he found along the way, as dogs like to do. The dog's owner said, when I saw Moose was up to something, I pulled him away as quick as I could, but when I looked down, he'd managed to get a mouthful of human poo, which the owner said was gross on so many levels. About three hours later, when they were at home, Moose began stumbling around and became lethargic and incontinent. The owner says that the owner took Moose to the vet, where they treated him and explained that his symptoms were signs of cannabis intoxication, meaning there was THC in the poop that Moose ate. Now, the owner says that in her research since the incident, she learned that humans only absorb about 65% of the THC in edibles, and a cannabis content makes poop more appetizing to dogs, who are more sensitive to THC because they reportedly have more cannabinoid receptors than humans. So, Mike, I guess edibles are good for more than one use.
Wow.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Wow. See, and I was going to try to call BS on that because I'm like, after it goes to your body, how much THC is still going to be there? But how does he even know it's human poop? How does he look at that, like, and not only notice that my dog's eating crap today, but that it's human poop?
Well, I mean, you can kind of tell the difference, just by looking.
Please tell me. I cannot. Is it bigger? It was a bigger poop? Because I have German Shepherds.
Okay.
What if a dog eats poop and then poops it out and another dog eats that poop? How many times can it be pooped out before you're not going to get medicated by it anymore?
Well, the article did say that the dog was incontinent, but I think that was the end of that cycle of that what do you call that, trajectory?
Let's do the math on this. If it's 65%,
that's an interesting question.
Right, 65%. They said is all your body can absorb.
Yeah, and then it gets rid of the rest
that leaves 35%, which means you'll get half the high, but no contact high on the second poop.
Right.
That's math.
Well, it was enough for the dog, apparently. I mean, they says they have more cannabinoid receptors, and the dog is much smaller than a human, so it takes a lot less THC for them to get high off of it.
Paul, what the hell are you trying to say, Paul?
Oh, no, I was thinking my dog.
Yeah.
My dog actually knows. My dog actually will walk down the street of San Francisco, and he's so anxious that he will go up to every vertical surface. If it's a pole, if it's a tree, or if it's a person, he will walk up and sniff it, and he'll go, oh, it's another human's piss. Move on. If it's a dog, he'll pee.
How do you know that your dog is smelling human piss to say, I don't want to pee there?
In San Francisco, it's because if it's on a tree or a pole, it's a dog. If it's going down the sidewalk like a snail trail, it's a human.
That is not science right there.
I'm just telling you.
Science. You got to be one of those. He's a pee drinker. You know, some of them dudes that like the golden showers and stuff to where they like could just walk by pee and go, that's human pee. Redhead. You know?
Oh, he does. He looks up at me and goes, another human pee. He does.
People are too close to their dogs. That's what I'm going to say right there.
Oh, come on.
I mean, how do you hide your... I don't even think the dog was high. There's all kinds of breaks in the science of this whole thing. You got to get that dog high first to have a control group, to know what the dog's going to act like high. And then you got to convince the dog to eat shit when it's sober, not as a high, as the munchies.
They need
a control group now.
To determine if it was actually high.
Right. So
non-medicated poop for the dog to eat.
And then you gotta do different. You give him like some big cat poop, like this. All right. What else you got, Benjie?
People with clipboards.
People holding clipboards pooping.
All right. So last week we talked about how Amsterdam is, among other things, banning smoking cannabis outdoors this spring. But the city is also looking into the possibility of an actual regulated cannabis market. The Amsterdam City Council hopes to participate in a regulated cannabis experiment that the government plans to launch in 2024, if the rules are changed to allow an 11th city into the program. Amsterdam wants to see if its cannabis cafes can function by buying legal products from official growers, something the shop owners would have to agree to. Currently, shops are officially licensed but have to still get their cannabis from illicit sources. And the country's health minister says Amsterdam's interest is good news for the legal cannabis experiment, which the government began plans for 6 years ago, but the venture has been plagued with problems since its launch. And the goal is to eliminate the gray area between licensed shops and illegal growing, which members of parliament believe would reduce the role of organized crime in the soft drugs circuit. Personally, I think that a properly implemented legal cannabis market is always a good idea, and I hope Amsterdam can figure out how to make it work, and the Netherlands overall. But to me, it seems kind of crazy how things have changed, because Amsterdam used to be really kind of a mecca for cannabis
All
consumption.
right, it was where everybody
And
went.
then the fact that legalization has spread through a significant portion of the world, they've kind of been left behind.
See, and that was like everybody would save up all year, or it was like a bucket list thing. You had to go to Amsterdam to deal with their cannabis. But I'll tell you one thing most people don't know is Amsterdam is like a mafia, like it's a lot of organized crime in dealing with these cafes, to where the government had to step in and put a halt to everything and then try to get it re-going under some kind of a system.
Well, that's what they're trying to do now, and they've been trying to do it for the past 6 years, but nothing's working out yet. Because like I said, right now the cafes still have to get their cannabis through illicit sources because it's not legal in the country in the first place, and so they're trying to bridge that gap and maybe cut down on crime.
Have you ever been to Amsterdam? Have you done that yet?
I have not.
We got to do a class trip.
know a few people that have been.
I got to go. That's where I saw Uncle Stoner. I was in Amsterdam.
I need a light.
I was thinking one of our previous co-hosts, Hopper, has been there. He went there with the Cottonmouth Kings, who actually filmed a video about for a song about going to Amsterdam. And
they have the red light district because everything's legal in Amsterdam. All drugs, everything. They don't get on your, I guess, except cannabis right now. Who knows what's going on? But prostitution is most definitely legal.
Right.
And they have the red light district. And then like Walmart, they have a blue light district where they're rolling back prices. Because you're getting more transsexual men, and this has been going on for decades before it was even cool, or whatever you want to call it. Allegedly cool. I think I just lost everybody. You have not seen these women.
So can we officially call the Cannabis Cafe area the Green District? The Green Light District.
It should be the Green. It should be the Green Light District. Why haven't they done that? Because one more color of a rainbow is not helping the blue light.
If they did that, they'd have RGB, red, green, and blue.
They don't even tell you. You can't even go to the blue. You always know in the blue light district, it's the guy walking by himself. That's the one that's out there shopping. Where the groups are going, and it's like a zoo, because they're behind the window. And I'll tell you, if you're out sex shopping, because it's legal there, so you can talk like that. The massage parlors are much better than the light district, allegedly.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a lot more than I meant to go into.
Tourist trips.
I was getting a massage the whole time. I thought I was like an 80-year-old woman. And right at the end of the massage, the beginning of a different massage, but the end of that massage, I turned around and looked, and I was like, oh, I've been cheating myself. Like, I could have really enjoyed this massage, but I thought it was Mama-san, and I was still down. I was like, okay, we're doing this. I'm a tourist.
Like the massages in Raid Day Off.
Yes, and that's where I got the short film series I worked on, Patience, with Coop, and it's called Raid Day Off, and that's where I got the stories from, is the actual massages, because I would take everybody on their birthday. Whatever. When's your birthday?
Hilarious.
When's your birthday, Hans?
April 16th. I'm ready.
Oh my God, January, February. Oh, that's coming up. Is that your birthday?
Yeah.
April 16th.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm gonna get you a hand job on your birthday.
Woohoo!
Damn taxes.
Extra if it's for my wife.
No, it's not. She doesn't listen to the show though. You'll be fine. What else you got in the news?
All right, so normally police tell people not to consume cannabis before operating a motor vehicle, but the Montgomery County Police Department in Maryland is picking up drivers, getting them high, and even supplying them with munchies before letting them drive. And that's because law enforcement is trying to prepare for an increase in drivers who use cannabis in Maryland, where voters approved a legalization measure last year. For the gatherings, law enforcement personnel pick up medically certified cannabis smokers in police cars, bring them to the exercises tent where they get high, they give them free Cheetos, water, and pizza, and then use them to help determine whether someone is too high to drive. Reportedly, similar exercises are taking place across the country, and one of the participants said they were doing their part to help police determine when and when not to conduct cannabis-related stops after legalization takes effect on July 1st. They said if police aren't educated, they're going to do a variety of stops and arrests that aren't realistic. And
none of them are.
I think that if they really have to try so hard to find signs of stoned driving, it indicates that it might not be the problem that they think it is.
Well, you know, and nobody's not driven stone. I mean, shoot, man, people have been driving stone since like the 60s, since cars came out in whatever year that was.
When I was in
think they got
college,
the
there was
idea?
a friend of mine that I was scared to drive with him when he was not high. When he was high, like I was completely comfortable, but the other time he would kind of veer, you know, and just I felt unsafe. But when he was high, he was the perfect driver.
Like V8, like the old V8 commercial when everyone's going sideways. Like, have you had your V8 today? You know,
I could have had a 420.
Smoke this. Yeah, I'm all for driving stone. The worst thing that happens is you drive slower. That, you know, they tend to bracket in with alcohol where you're trying to take risks. You have no inhibitions. Cannabis is not like that. If you're smoking cannabis, I'm extra paranoid. Everybody's a cop. You know how many driveways I'll pull in just to like, oh, cop behind me. I live here now. I gotten out of my car and knocked and just be like, hey, is Jessica home? And I'll be like, no, Jessica live here. Why you parked in my driveway? And I'll be like, cop went by. I'm cool.
I always carry an Avon book. I'm the Avon lady.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm just telling you.
I wouldn't even doubt that. You know, and there's other books. There's Guns and Ammo.
Oh, well, that's a good one to have.
He's like, yeah, I'm
possibly
carrying
being pulled over.
Avon.
The whole extra caution thing is something that has come up in the studies that they've done on, because we've been legalizing cannabis in this country for years, and so they've done studies on drivers, and they've found that there's really not that much difference between someone who's consumed cannabis and someone who hasn't when it comes to their driving habits.
Right.
So that's, I mean, like, again, it's
except
like
for they're just
really hard to
cooler. They're
find-
like, hey, we noticed the stone guy was way cooler than the other dude.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the cops just don't smoke the weed. I mean, that's the thing. They're pretending like they've never smoked weed. And that's the whole thing. It's a waste of money. It's like, dude, you've been high. You drove high. You probably drove this cop car high. Quit playing.
I think part of it boils down is they boil it down to something like equating it with alcohol, which you cannot do because the effects are actually pretty different.
Unless you do dabs. You ever do a dab while you're driving? Like one of them ones that make you go blind for like 15 seconds. Legit. You're like, I feel my soul on the out. I'll slow down. I'll be on the freeway, allegedly, and then I'll slow down to like 7 miles an hour. And I'm just like, oh, we're going to die.
Like an extended sneeze.
Tommy Lucero, who we didn't have time for today, Tommy, we'll get you in next week. Tommy Lucero was driving. I remember doing a dab while I was driving, allegedly, and I was like, bro, take the wheel. And he's like, just exhaling his own. He's like, I can't. I'm fucked up too. I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to die. You could have given me a 30-second buffer. Yeah, it was a lot of things. Is that our news?
That is this week's cannabis news. And if you want to find more cannabis news from me, you can find me at Kennegeek News and at NugLife News on Instagram, or you can head over to my website, kennegeek.net.
That's cool. And now we're a tax write-off. No, kind of. And I'm not even trying to do like a wrestling month. Like every week we've had wrestlers in. I feel like next week I'm gonna try and get Rob Van Dam to close it out.
Damn.
But it's just a weird thing. So I don't know what we're gonna do next week. I might find like circus performers or somebody else.
That sounds interesting.
Maybe some movie people.
Circus performers that use cannabis.
All of them. I'd
watch that show.
Well, thank you again, Benjie. Make sure you tune into him at cannageek.net, NugLife News, and all the great places for all your educational stuff. You could hit him up at like 4 a.m. if you just want to know what's the green stuff in cannabis that makes it turn green. You know, it's not chloroform or chlorophyll. One will get you put in prison.
Answer, though.
Nah, you'll answer. Let it ring. Keep letting it ring. He's there. Call again and again and again. You know, they have auto callers too if you don't have the time to pound that number over and over. Or at 858, Benjie's mom's number is no.
Oh, man.
She'll wake him up.
555.
She'll wake him up. This has been a great week. Thank you again for the Godfather for coming out. Or virtually coming out on the phone. Uncle Stoner, Tommy Lucero, who's in Hawaii, but he couldn't be here because he didn't have time. April 15th is Kushtalk. You can see me hosting the Donuts for Dollars, which is the car drifting competition. And when I'm not doing that, I'll be hosting the Wrestle Set, which will be down by the main stage with lots of performers. And don't forget August 22nd, you can hit us up for information at Edible Sesh or Medicinal Mike or Wrestle Sesh, which I don't have the password for, but we'll find it. And that was our show. Thank you to Paul Brumbaugh, Edge Studios, Hence Singleton, and anybody else? Jenny in the back for not using the phone for the last hour. We appreciate you on that. And thank you. My child support is in the mail, ladies. This has been Nug Life Radio, a higher level of education.